Shalom Aleichem, everybody. Hope all is well. We are 7 days before the holy day of Rosh Hashanah, the new year 5782, a year that we know will bring wonders to our nation. And the year we're already in right now, Pei Aleph, Tavshin Pei Aleph, is already a year that we know has been bringing miracles for us, and it is a year that will bring us many more miracles to come in this coming week, the final week of 5781. So it is important in the last week of the year to realize that the way we act in this final week of the year has an effect on our entire year at large. We have the ability to sweeten this entire year. You know, if you're eating something bitter, even something that's very bitter, by adding a little bit of sugar, you get this delicious bittersweet taste. So we know that maybe this, for some of us, has been a bitter year. But with our increased service and our added joy and our increased connection to God in this final week of the year, we can sweeten the entire year at large and find ourselves with a newfound connection to God to bring us into the exciting upcoming new year. God willing, with the coming of Mashiach, even before the new year. God willing, today. So let's go into an important technique, remedy to do Teshuva in a more effective way. Because we know that the whole Inyan, the whole idea of this month is Teshuva, connecting to God. That in the final month of the year, the month of Elul, God makes himself more accessible to his people. The king is in the field, as the Alter Rebbe describes in his Maimarim. The king of the field, meaning when the king is in his palace, it's harder to reach him. You sometimes have to go through certain areas, and even if you're a high respected person, you may have to, you may not get your chance to meet with the king on very many occasions. But when the king comes to the field, he greets everybody at an equal greeting. The farmer, the minister, they're all one. They're all his subjects. And when he comes to the field, they're all able to access him and to approach him and to have a one-on-one and direct relationship with him. So too, and how much more so, by way of an analogy for the one above, Hashem comes and makes himself accessible in this month. So let us, if we have not yet, if we have already, even more, let's increase in our ability, in our efforts to connect to God in this month. This month has the Rosh Hashanah, the acronym Ani L'Doidi V'Doidi Li, for the month of Elul, which means I am to my beloved is to me. This verse is explained at length in Chassidus. This is a verse from Shir Shirim, the Song of Psalms by King Solomon. This verse represents the love between Hashem and the Jewish people. And we have to realize that this verse starts off with Ani L'Doidi V'Doidi Li, I am to my beloved and my beloved is to me. We have to realize that everything we do down here, God reflects us above. Whatever we do down here, God does the same towards us. It causes a reaction above. God puts it in our hands to make the decisions. So when we make a positive decision, God opens up a blessing of positivity, a channel of goodness towards us. When a person, God forbid, does the opposite of good, they bring the opposite of good upon themselves, God forbid. So we have to realize that our Creator, Hashem, is merciful, and He wants to give us good, and He's willing to do most of the work. He just wants us to show up. He wants us just to do our part, and He will take care of the rest, because we know that no matter how hard we always try, there's always external factors that are out of our control, and that will be taken care of by the one above. We just have to make our efforts, do a little bit more than we're used to, just a little bit more at a time, and then Hashem says, open up a crack for me, and I'll open up the world for you. So let's open up. And another technique to take this further, because this month, of course, we have to work on our fear of Hashem, our awe of Hashem, our love of Hashem, our respect for God. Therefore, we have to deeply analyze and inspect our actions to make sure everything is on par with Hashem's will. And the way to do that in the healthiest, most proper way is to increase in our faith and trust in God in a way of joy. By realizing that, yes, we have to be deeply analyzing our actions, but that should never cause us to lose faith or to be uncomfortable with God being in control. But rather, we have to increase in our trust in God, realizing that, yes, we have to examine our ways, but we have a merciful Creator who is going to help us fix everything, and He's going to help us reach, not only fix everything, but reach a greater height than ever before. Because we know that before our souls came into this world, we were experiencing very, very lofty godly revelations. Before we were born, our soul was in the highest level, one of the highest levels of heaven, so to speak, experiencing tremendous godly revelations. And even higher than heaven, our soul was a part of God above. But yet Hashem sends us down into this physical dark world where it hurts, and our soul doesn't want to leave the comfort of God's presence. But Hashem tells us, go down into this world. And by serving me in this physical world, by going against the darkness and turning the darkness into light, you will reach an even greater height than before. And we know that as great as the godly revelations were when we were above, before we were born, they won't even compare, they won't even be comparable in the same conversation as what's waiting for us, what God is waiting to reveal to us in the days of Mashiach. There will be ein aroch, as the Hebrew word used, of not commensurate, not on the same scale. So surely we have to be excited and to increase in our fear of Hashem and in our love of Hashem, and to increase in our faith in Him. And faith is beyond logic. Sometimes when we calculate, we know that we have our emotions, our intellect which controls our emotions, but we have an even higher faculty, and that is the faculty of will, desire, the innermost will. And that is when we trust in God, that is our innermost will. We are transcending even our logic. Because sometimes when we may find ourselves in difficult situations, we have to reach above our logic and tap into that place in which we know that God is going to make it right for us. And when we show our trust in God, even when the calculations don't maybe add up, maybe like you find yourself in such a difficult situation that it doesn't make sense by your logic to trust in God, that's when you have to increase in your trust in God the most, because that is where God is testing you and He's seeing, are you going to bring Him into your life? So let us bring Him into our life in an easy, clear, successful way, because we know that God is begging us. He's waiting for us at every single moment. He adores each and every one of us, and He always does infinitely more than we do, beyond infinitely more than we do in every situation. He just wants us just do a little bit, show up, open up a crack, He says, and He'll open up the world for us. May we see it today. May Hashem bless you all. The last week of the year, may we experience the days of Mashiach. Be well.